stay. Well, I'm leaving you, baby. Lord, I'm going back home to stay. Back home, there's no Florida tornadoes. Baby, the sunshine every day.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Hope you're all looking after each other and staying safe and virus-free. That was the great Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble with my take on Texas Flood from his debut album Texas Flood, coming in at number 13 on Guitar World Magazine's Top 100 Solos of All Time. This is take two of this one. I uploaded it yesterday and I was unhappy with certain aspects of it. I was unhappy with the tone. I was unhappy with the mix, even the little talk afterwards. So I figured I'd fix all that up and try again. So I think I'm happier this time. Sorry that it's been a few weeks since my last post, but Stevie's Texas Flood is over 3 minutes of soloing. A lot to learn, a lot to remember, a lot to practice, and I wanted to play it well. And, well, it's Stevie Ray Vaughan, so it's not easy to play either. So, especially me not really being a blues man. Plus, despite being in lockdown because of COVID-19, I've actually got less time to myself to practice and play because my family is around 24/7 as well. Normally, I have like 8 hours a day to myself when my wife is working and my son's in school. Now I've got about an hour a day late at night. Not that I mind spending more time with my family, but, getting a little shack happy here. Anyway, what can one say about Stevie Ray Vaughan, arguably the greatest blues guitar player of all time, who sadly shook off this mortal coil far too early. Now, when I started this project, one of the main driving forces of doing it was to learn new things, especially with regards to different styles of play that I either wasn't very good at or I hadn't really touched upon a lot in my playing when I was younger. Most notably, blues guitar. Now, as a soloist, I knew all the classic and well-known blues licks that every guitar soloist knows, or should know, and could jam on some blues if called upon, but it's a style that I never really delved into too deeply and would never really consider myself a very accomplished blues guitar player. That's something that I wanted to change with this project. I wanted to be a better blues player, and there was a hell of a lot of blues to dig into on this list, from Clapton to Hendrix to B.B. King, Jimmy Page, plus loads of others. But none excited me and challenged me more than the 3 Stevie Ray Vaughan tracks on this list. I had previously done Scuttlebutton sometime last year, Pride and Joy a couple of months ago, and they were way more challenging than any of the other blues solos on this list. I'll stick both of my versions down below in the description if you want to check them out, if you haven't already. I personally put Stevie Ray Vaughan in another category altogether. I think, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this thinking, that he was the greatest blues guitarist who's ever lived. Like I said, there's no other blues solos on this particular list that challenged me as much as those by Stevie Ray. Maybe that's my inner shredder coming out a little bit, because Stevie was basically a blues shredder. He could not only play the blues at an absolutely breakneck speed, but he also had every single lick in the blues guitar Bible in his arsenal. Tremendous touch, great vibrato, and amazing note-bending ability. He was the complete package, but to me it was his speed and his fluidity that really set him apart. Unmatched by anyone before, and or anyone since, for that matter. That said, on my 2 versions that I've done already, I give myself a solid 7 out of 10 on the 2 previous Stevie solos I've tackled so far. Why 7 out of 10, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you why. I think I played them okay, but like I said, I'm not a blues player, so a 10 out of 10 would be Stevie himself. A 9 out of 10 would be a fantastic blues player like John Mayer or Gary Moore or Joe Bonamassa, on a good day. That would be a 9 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 would be a fantastic blues player, maybe on a bad day. And a 7 out of 10 would be maybe my attempts. A non-blues player giving it his best shot on a good day. I wanted to see if I could kick that up a notch with this one. Get myself maybe into fantastic blues player on a bad day territory. I worked damn hard on it to get it right over the past couple of weeks, though I did some improvising here and there. And, so it's not note for note throughout. Plus, I chopped out one of the verses to shorten the length up a little bit. So tell me what you think, please, down in the comments below. 8 out of 10, good blues player on a bad day, please. Now, when Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble walked into Los Angeles downtown studio in November 1982, to take advantage of 72 free hours of studio time offered to them by owner and fan Jackson Browne, they had no idea that they were about to start recording their debut album. They were basically just making tape, hoping that they could put down a demo that would actually be listened to by a real record company. Because at this point, though fairly well known in the Texas blues scene, they had hardly made a dent anywhere else in the world, and the band had remained unsigned. And add that to the fact that they were a blues trio trying to break into a music scene that was heavily dominated by electronic new wave type acts at the time. Not many record companies were very interested in signing a blues band. No matter how good they were, it was pretty much a dead genre at the time. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, of course, would defy every convention of the 80s music scene and go on to perform the unlikely task of bringing guitar-based blues rock roaring back into the mainstream, shocking practically everyone in the music industry. It also didn't hurt that Stevie Ray Vaughan was a once-in-a-generation talent that absolutely demanded to be heard. As far as the recording of their debut album goes, the band basically had no idea what they were doing as far as sitting down in a real recording studio. So the three members basically just set up in a circle facing each other and played live. They did what they did best. And so the trio spent the first day just basically getting settled in LA and the studio. They put down 2 tracks on the second day, and amazingly, they put down 8 tracks on the third day, including the track Texas Flood, which was recorded dead last just as their studio time was running out. One of the numerous covers that would fill over half of the Texas Flood album. If you didn't know, Texas Flood is not a Stevie original. It was originally written and recorded by a fella named Larry Davis back in 1958, not Larry David from... Davis would go on later in life to become a rather well-known blues guitarist himself within the Texas blues scene, despite being from Arkansas, though he didn't actually play guitar on his version of Texas Flood. He wrote the song, did the vocals, played bass, while the famous guitar lines were put down by a fella named Fenton Robinson. It's been covered by numerous artists over the years, including Willie Nelson, of all people. I actually gave a listen to Willie's version of it. It's not very good, despite Kenny Wayne Shepherd holding down the guitar duties very well. Willie's voice just does not work for this type of blues. It was also covered somewhat more successfully, I think, by Buddy Guy, Albert King, and again by original guitarist Fenton Robinson himself in 1973. But nobody would make it their own the way Stevie Ray Vaughan did in 1983, becoming the title track and one of the main highlights of his debut album, as well as a live concert staple at pretty much every one of Stevie's shows going forward. Rolling Stone magazine would list Stevie's version of Texas Flood as the number 66 greatest guitar song of all time. And I would have to agree. I think I would put it higher. Anyway, a lot of fun learning this one, and I hope you liked it. I really enjoy playing it. And that's all I got to say about that one. I hope you liked it. And we'll see you next time with some more blues. Some going way back with this one, rock and roll blues with Johnny B. Good and Chuck Berry. So that should be fun. And so anyway, hope you're all well, taking care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.